Welcome to the final episode of Season 1, LG Doghouse. I am your host, Sir Mike Knight. With me, as always, by Mercy and Grace. Joining us again, finally, Golden Aces, Quinn, otherwise known as the Drunk Man, and Audacity. This being the final episode, we will not do a show after the finals because nobody's going to watch it. Right? I mean, they got the award show. They're already going to talk about who wins, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Everybody knows. Everybody's going to know who won. We don't have to discuss it. Right? But this being the final episode, I did want to give you guys something special. We all have some pre-show rituals we go through, and throughout the show, we're going to show you those. But we're going to start with Audacity's, and this is Audacity's pre-show ritual. All right, moving right along, we're going to talk about real quick.
I don't know what you all just saw, okay? Because I literally haven't seen the video at this point in the show, but I'm sorry. I'm sure I'm sorry that I had to edit that in. So we'll move on.
All right, moving on. We are going to talk about real quick the quarterfinals. Okay, hold on, real quick. I'm sorry.
The quarterfinals.
Why does it the semifinals? Why does it say Flint Birds
It's
in
a
a
glitch.
bye?
It's
and
just
Moncton in a
McDonald
bye?
doesn't know how to do site tools. Just ignore it.
Okay, we are going to talk about the semifinals. Real quick, we're going to start with the queue again because the queue still doesn't seem like they got enough love. The Armada versus Moncton. By Mercy and Grace. Start us
All
off
right.
here.
So this was a 4-1 win for the Armada. I think a lot of people picked the Armada to win. I was not. I picked Moncton. Thanks, guys, for letting me down. So I think this. I don't think the Armada winning took a lot of people by surprise. I think them winning in only 5 games took a lot of people by surprise. The fact that Moncton can only take 1 game away from the Armada is obviously the Armada is a really good team. I mean, I think during Game 5 there was a point where Armada were getting outshot 12 to 4, and they were up 4-0. Like there was some definite goaltending is a very big strength for the Armada. If you need to know that Legend is a pretty good goalie.
Right, Quinn.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised by that series as well. Just the main fact that it went 4-1. I obviously wasn't on the show last week to make predictions, but I thought that a lot of these series would go the distance, and to be surprised 4-1, I was quite surprised by that, to say the least. So basically what Mercy said, though, just surprising.
I love that
Right.
every time we do this, I go first, and then I say everything, and you guys are just like, yeah, whatever.
Well, it's
Percy
because
said.
you cover everything.
I just love how many times Golden Aces said surprise.
Yeah.
In that.
Whatever.
Audacity.
Well, I called a sweep. I was
did
just
call a
surprised
sweep.
that Moncton won one. The goaltending was stupendous. I mean, when I'm listening to the stats of the game, unfortunately it wasn't streamed. I heard that there was 20 shots that Legend faced and only let one in. I mean, Moncton must have been shooting from the blue line and just letting the other team carry it back in. I have no idea what happened
Yeah,
that game.
as a goaltender, when you face that many shots, I remember he specifically said in the chat box that the goal he let in was a one-timer that he caught in the net. So even then, he saved it. Just EA sucks at animating goalies.
I think at one time, Legend actually posted in the chat 22 shots to 4, and it was 3-1
Yeah.
at that point. I'm like, wow, okay. and you listen, you pretty much figure the person with 22 shots has the win, has the 3. No. The person with 22 shots had 1 fucking goal. The person with 4 had 3. That's just some terrible goaltending on Moncton's end. Legend is, for anybody who doesn't already know, Legend is an absolutely stellar goaltender. He actually played in the All-Star game, even though it was the franchise who won the vote. But he played in the All-Star game, and he did pretty well in the All-Star game against some really tough, scorers. In the O. I mean, he ended up at the end. He kind of fell apart, but with as many shots as he faced, against some really good goal scorers in the O, you can't really fault that. But I wasn't surprised. I was surprised that it did end in 5 games. I'm going to keep saying surprised as an homage to Quinn. But I wasn't surprised that Armada won, even though I did a coin toss to figure out who was going to win in Game 7. Once Mercy says you guys can all be wrong, I knew that Armada was going to win, because every time he said that this season, the other team has won.
I've been wrong every single time.
Every time.
Yep.
I'm pretty terrible at this whole prediction thing. So
you got one right last week.
I got one right. Oh gosh. Mike, segue us.
Okay, we're gonna move on to the O. We've got the Kingston Frontenacs. I would say absolutely wrecking the Flint Birds, but what the hell, 3 and 4. We're not even gonna go into it. It's been beat to death in a forum thread, and Flint, I'm sure, is tired of hearing about it. So we're gonna go over the series real quick. But by mercy and grace, you can talk about the first 2 games.
I can talk about the first 2 games. This was a 4-0 sweep for Kingston on paper at the end of the day. I mean, no one can really change that. Kingston, both of the first 2 games were very close games. These were not, there was no blowouts, there was none of that. It was 2 very close games. I think, what was the score of the first one? Was it 2-1? Something like that? Very low scoring games. I think the second one was 3-2. 1-goal games both times. Flint stayed in it. We know who Kingston is. They're a very defensive-minded team. They're very good at possessing and controlling the puck and the flow of play. So giving them that 1-goal lead makes it very, very difficult for you to come back from. And then in games 3 and 4 on the ice, Flint took both games. I don't remember the scores exactly because they never got... I don't even think Game 4 got put in by the time it was overturned. So on the ice, 2-2 series. Unfortunately, if you would like to know what happened, there's forum posts. Go read them. We're not going to get into it. At least I'm not. So yeah, that's what happened in the O.
Quinn?
Well, as you guys know, I've been kind of absent the past couple weeks, and so I've sort of been following with this. Hey, no.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Quinn has nothing to add, so we're going to just skip him.
No, I'm not even going to... Shut up. So surprise. My pick from the start, one of my picks, unfortunately, was not Kingston, even though I wanted them to do well. I should have picked Kingston, but I didn't. And I thought that they were going to go pretty deep after the first couple rounds. And I was surprised to find out what had happened. I don't even know exactly what happened, but as he said, I'll look it up too because I don't know. But I was surprised to find that out. I'm not surprised that it was a close series, but it's just kind of shitty that rulings and stuff happen like that. So it happens. It's happened to all of us. Nothing you can really do about it.
All right.
Audacity, give us the inside scoop on the first 2 games.
Are we going to let him talk? Does he get to talk about his own series?
Yeah, he just can't predict his own series.
The first 2 games were a legitimate games. I mean, I trust me, I didn't want the series to end the way it did, because then you have the question marks and you have the bitch moves and you have all this other stuff. That's not something I would want to happen. But the first 2 games were very solid, very close played games. Both teams had their offenses show up and their defenses show up, and I thought it was going to be a great series. What happened in the last game 3 and 4, you just can't help it. I mean, if a team tries to play one line or an illegal player, you have to report it as it's just part of the rules. So that's all I want to say about that. I'm force dumping it.
Before we move on to the Cup Finals, we are going to give you another pre-show ritual, and this one is my pre-show ritual. All right, moving on to the finals.
Right. Again, people in the audience, I apologize. This is not my idea. Okay. Be mad at them. I'm just the guy that has to do all the grunt work.
All right. So moving on, talk about the finals. We've got the boy band Barbie Armada versus the Kingston Frontenac.
What a great name! I'm sure the people of Blainville and Boisbriand are very happy to know that they are
a new
boy band and Barbies.
We're just adding to our T-shirt line.
Yeah.
We've got the Footbirds, and now we've got the boy band army.
The boy band Barbie Armada.
Yeah.
Oh god.
All right. Some really good goaltending and defense in this series by Mercy and Grace. Start us off here.
All right. So we know who Kingston is. I think we've about to beat the horse to death. Ha 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 battalion. I mean, ha 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 Barry. Ha ha battalion as well. Cause what the fuck. Kingston obviously great defensively. Obviously can put the puck in the net when they need to, and then know how to control the play once you give them that 1-2 goal lead. You have on the other side, you've got the Armada, who are not exactly slouches defensively, but are definitely, I don't think they're as good as Kingston is, but they're definitely better offensively than Kingston is. They've got top scorers like Gabella, and they've got some, really elite players over there. Another thing that I like from them is that Legend can absolutely carry them when he needs to, and he showed that in the Moncton series, that when push comes to shove, that Legend will absolutely lock down that net, which poses an issue for Kingston. Is if they say Kingston goes down 2-1 going into the third period, are they a team that can is that one of their strengths to be able to fight back, which we really haven't seen from them yet. So it'll be interesting to see how that happens.
Golden Aces.
For me, I think that it's going to be a very defensive series. I mean, both these teams had lower numbers in terms of goals allowed this season. The Armada having 170 and the Frontenacs having 220. So in the amount of games that we play, that's quite a low amount. For me, I think this series is going to go to 7 games, and it's a real toss-up. But I think personally that the Armada is going to win in the seventh game, and the only reason for me choosing that is because they've had the experience of a 7th game these playoffs, and the Frontenacs have not. So I think that they will have that experience of being able to throw together a good game 7 line and etc. So it's going to be a tight series, but I pick the Armada to win in 7.
I didn't actually predict.
Yeah, Mercy, I was just gonna say, Mercy, how many? Well, you did predict. You said, you pretty much said the Kingston Frontenacs, didn't you?
Yeah, I think Kingston. I think Kingston takes this in 5. I think that they have a very good offense, and not a very good offense, very good defense and goaltending. That some of the things that the Armada does, they're not going to be able to do, especially against an OHL team, especially like Kingston. So in 5, I wouldn't be surprised if they got swept, if I'm going to be totally frank about it.
I'm going to completely disagree with Golden Aces, and only partly disagree with By Mercy and Grace, where By Mercy and Grace says that they don't have a really good offense. I think Kingston has a spectacular offense. Yeah, they don't need to put up the London Knight type goals of 7-8 goals a game, because their defense and their goaltending is going to stand behind their offense, but their offense gets it done when need be. And like you said, they control the puck. They do a lot of controlling in the offensive and neutral zones. They don't take stupid shots, so you're not going to see a whole lot of shots on net, as far as, like Moncton and shit like that, because Kingston's not going to take stupid shots from the blue line and just dump it on net, hoping and praying. They're gonna try to get the cycle game going. They're gonna get it to their defense. If the defense needs to take a shot, they got somebody in the net, in front of the net, trying to screen or get the tip in or what have you. But on the other side, you do have Legend as goalie. Now, this is the all-star rematch as far as goaltenders go. But not, if I'm not mistaken, not either of these teams sent an offensive player. a defensive player from Kingston went.
Gabella went for an offensive player.
Gabella did.
Yeah.
But no, they did have Gabella. But I mean, Audacity and the Kingston Frontenacs have people like don't they have the top scorer right now in Top Cheese?
Yes.
You know, I mean, Top Cheese has absolutely been turning it on in the playoffs. I don't know where he was all season, but I think Armada is going to be able to take 2 for the 2 games that Immortal BMW doesn't play. That's my prediction.
Well, let's hold on.
Kingston in 6. Anyway, we've got another pre-show ritual for you. This one is from By Mercy and Grace.
Shut it sideways, smack it in the air. Legs move it side to side, smack it in the air. Legs move it side to side, smack it in the air. Show it sideways, smack it in the air. Smack it in the air. Legs move it side to side, smack it in the air. Smack it in the air.
All right, in lieu of the Doghouse this week, we are going to do our awards show, and we're going to discuss these live. Well, not live because this show is edited, but we're going to discuss these here, and then we're going to vote on each one, and the highest vote wins. I don't know how we're going to break a tiebreaker. We'll figure it out if that happens. Maybe we'll call Greasy real quick. Be like, hey,
We can have an argument. We can have an argument and sway somebody. To
Yeah,
switch
we'll
sides.
just duke it out like fisticuffs. We'll figure it
Yeah,
out.
I mean, well, then whoever has me, they lose because I'm a shrimp. So.
All right.
the one thing that we don't need to argue about, we tried to put a preseason cup game together, the Sarnia Sting versus the Guelph Storm. We got the managers together. We tried to make this happen, and Guelph forfeit. So congratulations to the Sarnia Sting, our first ever preseason cup winners. Congratulations, golf clap. The first actual award we're going to give out is the Rage Out Award. And By Mercy and Grace, you want to run down what the Rage Out Award actually is?
This is to the player, in our eyes, that just had the best total mental breakdown and just raged out either in the forums or some ridiculous message that we got our hands on, just something. I think we had 3 nominations for this, maybe?
I believe we had 2 finalists.
2 finalists. We had, we'll start with Vector. I don't remember his entire game tag. It was like Vector 21 or something like that. It was the Guelph Storm GM at the start of the season. Roughly about a week in, when Guelph totally fell apart after doing so well in the preseason. He posted about 12 different threads in the forums talking about how terrible the league was, talking about how bad Xeno was, and like toward the end, the threads were just like, "How am I not banned yet?" Like
Yeah.
At least
It was pretty entertaining. And those went down fast, but that was actually pretty entertaining in my. But it absolute rage out. Who's the second nominee?
The second nominee is to King Flips, and I wish I still had the messages, and I don't have them anymore. If any of you guys have them, send them to me after the show. Or maybe Greasy has them. Greasy might have them. Send them to me after the show, and I can edit those in. This is the player that, when faced with league discipline, threatened to not only take his entire... He was a GM for the Ruan-Noranda Huskies at the time. Threatened to not only quit the league, but take his literal entire team with him. I can't tell if we lost Mike or not.
We didn't.
Okay, just double checking. Your profile picture is very different now, by the way.
I know.
Yeah.
I changed it on purpose, just for this show.
Very nice. He is the GM that threatened to not only quit the league in protest of whatever it was he was getting reprimanded for, but to make his entire team quit the league as well. Because apparently he had such a magnetic personality. Obviously that did not happen because his team didn't totally fall apart and managed to get up to 6th seed in the queue. So that didn't work out for him so well.
What was his gamer tag again?
King Flips.
Thank you.
It was like King
Shout
X.
out to my TC.
Yeah.
Huh?
He started out in my TC.
Started out in your TC.
Straight out of Kingston's TC.
Great. Straight out of Kingston.
Oh,
Yep.
that's totally going up. So my personal vote is for Vector, because I've never seen a forum freak out like that. And the fact that he knew that he was getting banned and he was still like, "Oh, what's up, Zeno? Why haven't you banned me yet?"
Quinn.
I'm gonna go with King Flips because obviously there's a big freak out between the both of them, but to actually threaten to take your whole team with you when you basically know that's not gonna happen at all, and to make a big deal about it when it's just like, see ya, like him, yeah.
It's almost like it's almost a huge freak out, but you know no one's taking you seriously, so it's just like.
It sounds like a little kid. I'm gonna take my ball and go home.
He had a Jerry Maguire moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Audacity.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with King Flips also. I thought I think he had a couple of rage threads in the GM chat where he was just going crazy about call ups and how he shouldn't have to deal with this and shouldn't have to deal with that, and he's taking everybody with him because he didn't get his way. It was definitely an amazing show to watch.
It was.
Whenever you can make a flip out that they have to make a sticky thread for in the GM chat, so everybody knows, hey, this guy, do not take him seriously. Just ignore him.
Wait, when was this? Oh
You
my
gotta-
god!
you gotta
I have
sticky
access to the manager's chat. I can find that. I will find that thread.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
definitely a sticky for him.
You know what Vector did was absolutely amusing in his forum flip out and just posting thread after thread. I think at one point the entire top of the forums was just Vector. And I was like, what the hell is this guy doing? So I clicked on a couple of them. I didn't read all of them. I'm not going to lie. I clicked on a couple of them. And it was Zeno, calling out Zeno, why haven't you banned me yet? But it was all within a span of an hour or so.
Yeah, it was like a half hour that they were up max.
And, obviously, Zeno has a life at somewhere. I don't know, maybe. But King Flips just threatening to take his entire team and just take his ball, go home, is
go to his own corner.
To me, deserves the Rage Out Award. So I think by mercy and grace, you've been outvoted.
I have been
3-1.
outvoted.
The new Rage Out Award is now the King Flips Award, forever embedded
Because he flipped out.
Oh, you're so
the
funny.
the King Flips Award. So moving on, we're gonna talk about the most valuable douchebag. By mercy and grace, run down what this actually is.
This is awarded to the player that we believe is a very talented player. Obviously, is worth something on the ice because they're most valuable, but they're also kind of douchebag, and you almost have to mute them when you're on their team because they're just such assholes to everyone around them. It's just that is their default personality, is just complete and total dick.
Just complete, total douchebaggery.
Yep.
Run down the nominees real quick.
I think my nomination will have to go to Pig. I mean, I've at least had positive conversations with Rishkoi. Dubs, I never really talked to him, but there are at least some people that talk highly of him outside of his team. No one... I've never seen Pig have a positive conversation with anyone ever. It's just constantly combative. So he's my vote.
Golden Aces.
I have to agree with Mercy. I think Pig. I've seen all of these guys talking around, and I have never ever seen him be kind of reasonable. I've seen Rishkoi be reasonable. I've seen Dubs be reasonable. I've seen Timbo even be reasonable, if that's even possible. But I have never seen Pig be reasonable, so I have to go with Pig as well.
Audacity.
I'm going to have to go Dubs. I mean, the dude calls himself a cancer. Makes a thread to make sure B Major refers to him as that. Vanton had to rush to get him off his team because he was like, dude, I can't even play him. He was sitting down. He sent him down because he just couldn't deal with him. So he pretty much took next to nothing for a player of that quality just to get him off his team. So that's why I'm going to have to go with Dubs on that.
All right, I think we're gonna have our first stalemate. I'm gonna have to absolutely completely agree with Audacity and Dubs. He's an absolutely amazing player, but if somebody like B Major has to send him down, not even trade him, just send him down. Like I don't even want to deal with. I don't even want to try to trade this guy. He's just such an asshole. I want to get rid of him. But he's an absolutely great player. You know, I have to go with Dubs as well. I have to.
So did Dubs get traded, or did he get sent down?
He got sent down, and then he got traded to Flint.
Wow. So he didn't get claimed on rosters then?
No, he was a amateur, I believe. So when they just completely waved him down, and like I know there was trade talks with me, and he kept trying to offer me Dubs. He was like, "This guy's he's got the skill, man. He's a great player. He's very active. Just I can't call him up."
Oh gosh.
So
That's
yeah.
pretty bad. Oh,
So here we go,
gosh.
our first stalemate in Dubs versus Pig.
You're giving me some good points. I'm trying to bring up specific stuff about Pig because he's never been traded. Obviously, he wants to be kept around on his team, but maybe it's just the people outside his team he's an asshole. I don't know. I don't have anybody.
It might also be the fact that his GM is Timbo Slice.
That's true.
I mean,
And for me personally, Dubs was my other selection, and I'm really torn because, like, as I said, I've seen Dubs be reasonable, but I didn't know that he was like sent down just because he was being a douche, and he couldn't even trade him. So I may have to switch.
oh, here we go. We got the switch.
And I think I'm going to.
We got a panel switch.
I'm going over as well. This is 4-0. It's Dubs.
Dubs.
Yeah.
Dubs
Surprise.
is our most valuable
Surprise,
douchebag.
Dubs. We at the Doghouse are very surprised that Dubs took this award. It's a big surprise.
Yeah, it's a very big surprise. It's such a surprise.
So now the most valuable douchebag award is named the Dubs Award.
The Dubs Memorial Trophy is what I'm going to call it.
Dubs Memorial Trophy. So the next one we're going to talk about is the Beach Ball Award by Mercy and Grace.
All right. Okay. So this is a fairly straightforward award. It is awarded to the goalie with at least 10 games played, with the highest goals against average. I mean, this is just a strictly looking at this. Before we go to crowning our champion beach ball, we're going to throw out this guy did not win, but we felt his stats were high enough to where he should be mentioned. Honorable mention to CK Whalefan. It is the Kitchener Rangers GM, I believe, who played 39 games this season in net. Over half of his team's game played were him, with a 4.8 goals against average. So most of the time he let in 5, sometimes he let in 4. That's
good math.
I also want to give an honorable mention to the Quebec Remparts goalies. 2 of them imitate with 21 games, and Notorious Fat with 17, and they had 5.15 and 5.13 respectively.
So if those numbers don't tell you that those 2 did not win, here we are with our Beach Ball of the Year award to goaltender for the Windsor Spitfires, Strictly Gator, who played 11 games this season, was part of the Germaniac regime in Windsor, and finished the season with a 5.42 goals against average, which is
outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Congratulations, Strictly Gator. The Strictly Gator
I was
award.
worried I was going to miss that clap. I mean, this kind of award.
oh gosh, no, that's coming up later with the.
All right. Moving right along, we're going to talk about the Best Chirper Award, and I believe a nominee from this panel is in it, by Mercy and Grace.
All right, this is kind of a hybrid award. We originally had like Best Chatbox Troll, Best Trash Talker. We decided to combine those. It's just Best Chirper. What player in this league is best at getting a rise out of his opponents, out of either just sheer dickbaggery or I'll make up words.
That's a good word.
That's what we do here. That's what we do here on the Doghouse.
Or kind of more humorous stuff. I have 2 nominees if someone would like to throw in more, and there's only 2 I think this could go to, and that is Timbo Slice, who is just constantly shitting on everyone else around him. Like, don't try to talk about anything because he's just gonna. According to Timbo Slice is the best thing to ever happen. So,
since Timbo sliced bread.
Oh my god! That is such a dad joke. That is such a.
I'm a dad. What can I say?
That is such a dad joke. All right, and this is not only is it a nominee, but also my vote is to Audacity 81. I don't think. How do you go up 2-0 on a series, and then post a handshake thread?
And not to mention, just before he plays the Barry Colts, he puts that thread up about beating a dead horse, how to beat the Barry Colts. It was absolutely hysterical, and you got Mitty in the post game after they swept the Barry Colts. Just like, I think Audacity got into our head. Timbo Slice is a great chirper. We all know this. He was even nominated for the most valuable douchebag. But I also have to mention Audacity's Flint Birds thread. Is how to kill a Flint bird.
Yeah.
I mean, all right. Not only does he get into his opponent's heads, and it's funny because he said he wasn't going to talk shit about Flint, and he didn't until they were done. So, and I think that itself got into Flint Bird's head.
Yeah, they probably expected some stuff to come up, but
they were
waiting
waiting for it. They were begging for it. I mean, and Flint Bird has been Flint Birds have been feeding off of the everybody underestimating them all season, and nobody underestimated them against Kingston. So I think that's what there wasn't enough fuel, and they were hoping that Audacity would fuel that. Golden Aces.
Just because I've talked about him a lot this season, I'm gonna have to go with Timbo. I was one of the first people to bring him up this season. It must have been like week 2. When he basically asked me to put him on the show in the Doghouse segment for his shit talking. So I'm going to have to go with him. It's constantly shit talking with Timbo, no matter what. Like, we constantly are sending pictures in our group chat for this show about Timbo's shit talking on the forums. So I'm going to have to go with him. I mean, most of you have probably seen it. So
kind of piggyback off that. I did spend a short time this season as like the captain role for Owen Sound. And I remember posting something in the manager's chat and him literally going through and rating dumb on everything I posted in that thread, just because I rated like one of his as dumb because I felt it was dumb. Like, dude, come on. I had 1 negative rating before that thread and I left it with 7.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Yeah, it's a big deal to me.
So since Audacity can't vote, the award goes to Audacity. On a 2-1 vote. The Audacity
thank
Award.
everybody for my award.
Nobody else gets to do a speech. You don't get to do a speech. We can clap for you. We're gonna move on. We're gonna talk about the best blacklist.
Before we go to this next award show, we in the Doghouse actually got some corporate sponsors over the last week. So we're gonna cut to commercial, put a little bit of money in our pockets since J Money never paid up.
And that's why we're all dressed up, because they require.
Yeah, they actually we got suit jackets on, got ties.
Yeah.
Shave.
Yeah.
I didn't shave. Screw that.
I can't shave yet, but I will.
Audacity shaved his head. I mean, what the frick?
Yeah.
So we're.
I think he took the memo on a different angle. They told him to shave, so he shaved his head instead.
And Mercy just didn't listen.
Screw that. I do all the work.
My wife's been begging me to shave, and I shave for the Doghouse. It's the award show, baby.
So we're going to cut to commercials.
Drives to the net.
Do you have the urge to constantly shoot glitch goals because you lack the skill to play like real players? Well, we have a solution for you. the anti-glitch ring. Just slip it over your right thumbstick, and off you go. Soon, you'll be scoring like the real players do. Do you play so bad that you feel like your thumbs came from a Chinese factory? Well, before you cut them off, try our new Pro Thumbs. Just slip them on, and you'll see instant results. Pro Thumbs, when you're serious about gaming.
Thank you to Krispy Kremer who set us up with. How much is he paying us?
Somewhere between like a couple pesos and maybe half a Canadian dollar. We're not sure yet.
Hey,
Okay.
it's money in our
Hey,
pockets.
Hey,
folks.
it's money. It's money. It's money.
We got
That's
these.
that's like 10 cents a person, man.
No one said these
money.
suits were expensive. We just, we're just
No.
wearing them.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We're going to talk about the best blacklist by Mercy Grace.
This is an award for the player that was blacklisted at some point in the season. This is the player that was banned that we felt it was most entertaining. It was the most satisfying. It was the funniest. There's really only two people that could get this award, I think. The first one of those two is Snake, which we did an entire episode dedicated to Snake at one point. I wish I could link you to that, but fortunately those videos are deleted. Snake got banned, quit his team, came back, and then ended up getting banned over some really funny stuff.
Yeah.
And then my vote for this is actually douchebag, because even though Snake was who he was, that all happened. No one quite made a splash quite like Germaniac coming onto the scene. He posted.
Yeah.
He started scouting for the CHL before he was even given a GM team. He started. He had all these threads up about scouting and posting all this stuff. And then 2 weeks into the season, I'm going to post this up here for you guys looking at home. It's just an essay in his blacklist. Like, most people get, removed, second tag, or work schedule changed, or, whatever. This is just a block of text over all the rules that he broke in his 2 weeks as a GM.
You can't even fit it all in one page.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, that's my vote, is douchebag, because it's one thing to get banned, it's a totally other thing to get a freaking encyclopedia written about your rules violations.
Yeah.
Golden Aces.
Even though I find both these two people extremely annoying and extremely bothersome, and I find that both of their removals were extremely hilarious and probably the best I've seen in a while, I'm going to have to go with Germaniac as well. Simply because even though Snakes was more publicized and we went a lot over it, Germaniac's was less publicized, but it still was huge, and that whole essay is just amazing. And it's the fact that he managed to break that many rules in that little amount of time, and how do you do that? It just makes no sense. So
It was all in the span of 1 week too.
It's so stupid, and that's why I'm choosing him over Snake, because you sign up as management, you gotta know the rules, and I don't even know, maybe he did it on purpose, but still it's so stupid. Just no. Yeah, so Germaniac for me.
Audacity.
I hate to say this, but Zach was right when he said Germaniac would have been the worst manager pick. You know that you've done something wrong. And I defended him too. And that's the part that, you're like, oh, he's just a new GM. He's excited. He's enthusiastic. He's got what it takes. Nope. No. So, Germaniac all the way.
And it's funny because, most of the time you lose a player on your team and it's a bad thing. The Winter Spitfire lose Germaniac and go on this absolutely amazing run where they end up, sixth seed? Seventh seed? It just, after losing that many games and then getting rid of Germaniac, you would have thought, okay, Windsor's done. Kind of like Guelph, when Guelph's freaking Vector just up and got himself freaking banned. The difference is that Guelph still tanked, whereas the Spitfire, the new GM comes in, he absolutely retools the team, and they skyrocket. I mean, they didn't make it too far in the playoffs, but still, to do that after losing somebody like that, you know what? I'm not going to go over everything that everybody said. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. God, we love that phrase.
Yes, we do.
It's catchy.
We do. I'm going to have to also vote for the Germaniac. So there it is, the best blacklist, the Germaniac.
All right, we're gonna definitely call that one something like the Germaniac. I'm trying to think of something that's not memorial trophy. Maybe it's just the Germaniac.
The Germaniac.
The Germaniac. I like that.
Instead of
kinda
duh.
Yeah.
We're gonna go ahead and change his duh to the.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Vesna, even though that's not the word. We'll just call it the Germaniac.
Yeah. Okay. Now the next award we're gonna do is the most hits and PIMs award by Mercy and Grace. Tell everybody what we're looking at here.
This is a combination award, a little bit subjective, because it is two different categories of stats. We're not just like literally adding them together and moving on. This is to the player who not only got the most penalty minutes and the most hits. It's kind of who was the most goodish, who threw the body, and who got into fights, and who instigated, and who's the goon.
And this is one of those awards where we took games played into account as well. So, by Mercy and Grace, give us the honorable mention first.
All right, we have an honorable mention for this that we definitely wanted to bring up. We felt it. I don't have the stats in front of me. I'm going to leave that to you guys. But Clara Cuzio for the Peterborough Petes was someone we wanted to talk about. And if someone could poof that into existence for me.
Yep. It was, he had 28 games played, and I will tell you the 69 penalty minutes, 180 hits.
Wow. How many hits again?
180.
180 hits.
How many games played?
28.
28.
Jeez.
That's averaging 6 hits a game.
Yeah.
Which it doesn't seem that much, but when you put that across an entire season, 180 hits.
Just seeing six.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot.
But the thing that, he's the honorable mention, so you see that, so like, what in the world's up with this guy? This goes to a player in the queue, actually. I think this is the first award. I think we gave Pig the most valuable. No, we gave that to Jurdups. I apologize. Don't even know what awards we gave. I think this is the first Q player to win one of our awards, and this goes to AJ Phillies 95. Is that it?
Real quick, let me. My computer's running pretty.
Mike's getting the
slow
stats for this, but this is a player who definitely exemplifies this.
AJ Phillies out of the Huskies.
Yep, out of Renton Oranda, stats.
18 games played, so he had 10 less games played. 75 penalty minutes, which is already 6 minutes more than the person who played 28, and 129 hits. Now, 129 hits compared to 180 doesn't seem like much, but when you factor in the fact that he only played 18 games as opposed to 28 games, that is an absolute.
Yeah,
Mercy, you were talking about this before the show. You could literally cut this guy's hits in half, and then add it to his total hits,
and that's
how many hits he would have in that many games.
If he played as many games, he would finish with over 100 penalty minutes, like 190 something hits. I mean, this guy was just like, I'm not even going to attempt to score goals. But the crazy thing is, he had 50 points. He was at over 2 points per game player, and he went 12-6.
Yeah.
Like, what? With
a plus minus of 21.
Yeah. So
I mean, I don't know if his plus minus was skewed because he's been in the penalty box so much, but
that's so true.
Oh man. So I mean, not only did this guy like absolutely just destroy people and spend way too much time in the penalty box, but he won games. Like he played well. Like, good job. So it is now the AJ Phillies award for
the AJ Phillies award.
The AJ Phillies award. Congratulations. I would be very proud to get this. So this is the only one where if I got it from this show, I'd be like, yes. Yes.
Because it's actually like a decent stat. It's
Yeah.
not like you're being an idiot. It's just like, yeah.
All right, we're going to talk about the biggest choke award. By Mercy and Grace, run us down this one.
This is an award that this is to the players or players in this case, which I think we can all agree on who this is going to go to, who were expected to do very well, but then just totally shit the bed. Just didn't show up. Didn't show up at all. My honorable mention. I'm just going to put him as a nominee, not just an honorable mention. I might not necessarily vote. My first nominee is Mitty for his performance against Kingston, specifically his performance at center against Kingston.
Thank him for that.
Bruh.
And then the other finalist in my eyes and nominee is definitely just the entire North Bay Battalion roster. Like, not only...
But yeah, the North Bay Battalion and Mitty, specifically, for his... Mitty the center.
I would like to throw a nomination in here. The Guelph Storm. After their preseason performance, they choked all season long.
No.
They only had 15 points. They only had 15 points in the 81.
Remember, they were preseason champions. They lost, 2 games in the preseason?
They weren't preseason champions.
Guys,
They didn't
let me
weren't
put
the
this to you in
preseason
perspective.
champions.
Let me put this to you in perspective. Guelph had more points in the 2 weeks of preseason than they did in the 9 weeks of the regular season.
Are you serious right now?
Yes, but do you remember them posting in the chat? Man, we're going to be one of the top teams. Nobody's got us up there. Like, because Mercy did his ranking by GM.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, are you gonna come play? Because we're 9-2. Remember that?
Yeah, I got somebody in my Twitch stream from Guelph. Hey, you guys gonna play? Are you playing tonight, Mike? I was like, I don't think I'm scheduled. Oh, you should. We're 9-2.
See, at that point, they already had more points than they did the entire regular season. So,
I got to say, that's the biggest choke right there.
that is
choke.
pretty
Season?
Sorry, we're gonna have to put this up for discussion.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, because I didn't think about that until just now. The fact that they had more points in the preseason than they did the entire.
I am so going with this with the entire North Bay Battalion roster. Not gonna let the number 8 seed take you to 7 games, but then to lose game 7.
Yeah.
Like, what is wrong with you? You guys were not only were you the number 1 seed, you were the best team in the OHL in the regular season. And then you lost to the 8th seed, who went. What was their actual record? I'm gonna pull it up, like as we're recording.
They almost lost to the. They almost lost their playoff spot to the Ice Dogs, didn't they?
Yeah, the Generals actually. They were 2 points. They were 2 points away from getting bounced out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
The Colts went 34, 41, and 6. They had a losing record going into the playoffs. North Bay went 60, 19, and 2.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, Golden Aces, what do you got?
With new evidence being brought to light here, I'm just gonna throw a wrench in things. And personally, with what I just figured out, I think I'm gonna choose Guelph. So, the fact that they had more points in the 2-week preseason than they did in the entire regular season of 9 weeks is a little messed up. That's a little bit of a choke in my opinion.
To be fair, this is a choke. This is the team that people expected to do well. Who actually expected Guelph to do well outside of Guelph?
I know, but I mean,
the preseason, with the way they played in the preseason.
No.
Yeah.
Preseason.
Yeah. And I mean, and to be fair, you do see upsets like that happen before. I don't think I have ever seen somebody get more points in the preseason than they have in the entire regular
It's not a choke.
season.
It's not a choke if you're bad and you could be bad.
They choked for 9 weeks.
No,
That's
that
a
is not
9 weeks
That's
choke.
just being bad. Choking is being good and then just totally crapping the bed.
They absolutely dominated in the preseason.
You can't even finish that sentence with a straight face. Stop trying to troll we're trolling our own award show. Congratulations.
All right, Audacity.
Look, well, what they did was definitely probably one of the worst and longest chokes. But to be the President's Cup champion, to go out there and you're in the bright lights, and you're going, and everybody's expecting you to be in the finals, and you shit the bed in Game 7. I'm sorry, I like Sharp. I'm glad he went to the AHL because it's hard to hang your head again in the CHL after that. I mean,
even with the Guelph 9-week choke and me just trolling, I am gonna go with the North Bay Battalion as well.
Thank you guys for talking sense. I was afraid we were gonna have to go to a vote.
And
like,
I'm fine either way. Like honestly, I'm fine either way. It's just hilarious.
No, Golden Aces, you've been sucking Guelph's dick all season.
What?
For 9 weeks.
Yeah.
Well,
Choking on it.
Okay.
The longest blowjob
Okay.
award goes to Golden
Okay.
Aces for Guelph.
To be fair, Guelph had a 4-game win streak to start the season as well. So,
You mean 8 of their points came in the first week?
yes. No. Not only 8 of their points came in the first week. I got to do math here. 12 of their points came in the first week. They went 6-3 in the first week, and finished off 961 and something.
So the biggest choke award goes to the North Bay Battalion. Congratulations. Your name is put on an award for not winning the cup. All right. And this next one is kind of special to me. I like this. Anyway, my thumbs done broke award, but Mercy, run us down with what we were looking at for this one.
Okay, this is again is a very straightforward award. We are not factoring in games played, none of that stuff. This is just who had the worst plus minus in the CHL. Who was just completely useless on the ice. And there are this is actually
there is only one.
But there are a couple of people that we can give as honorable mentions. The Q doesn't have much, but the fact that this is a teammate of the person who won this award, the Cog Nutmeg with a -53. I don't know. Maybe they were D partners.
I don't know. They must have.
That's what I think.
So I particularly find this one because Sergeant Rolston. Oh God, I ruined it. I'll edit that out.
No, edit that out because I want Audacity to give us this one.
Yeah.
Well, I want to give a honorable mention as well.
All right. Yeah.
So.
Please. Okay, we'll start with Aces.
And yeah, so I just because I love hating on him, and I know that every episode I haven't been here, he hates on me at the end of the show. So, Sir Mike, yeah, you deserve this one, Sir Mike Knight, 7th in the OHL for plus minus -34. Just had to throw that out there.
It's going to take you a couple
mention.
seasons to erase that plus minus, sir.
Yeah.
Still not as bad as our award winner Audacity, because I know this makes you happy. The award for my thumbs done broke goes to
drum roll, please.
The hillbilly on the other show, Sergeant Rolston. Matter of fact, sir, I'm going to drink some moonshine in your honor. -56, I believe? Or
I think it was 54. Let me double check here.
-54.
-54.
I can't even get this jar of moonshine open. Oh my God, that's foul. Ooh. Ooh. Straight out the mason jar. Nah, buddy.
So the award is now going to be called the Sergeant Rolston's My Thumbs Done Broke Award.
Yep.
By far going to be the longest award name, but it's absolutely fitting. The Sergeant Rolston My Thumbs Done Broke Award. Congratulations, Sergeant Rolston. Here it is. The Golden Doghouse Award. By Mercy and Grace. Okay. Explain this award, please.
This is not necessarily for any one thing or one event. This is the crowning season-long achievement award to someone from the Doghouse to someone else that exemplify everything that the Doghouse is about. This is about being an idiot This is about saying stupid things. This is about being an asshole.
Basically about putting yourself in the corner.
Yeah, this is for those special individuals who have really tied our hands when it comes to the Doghouse. Like, we don't have a choice. So, there is only one nominee. There's only
But there are a couple honorable mentions, and I do want to run down a couple of those. Tarasenko's one.
Yes.
Thanks to original.
Not just thanks to original. Greasy comes in and replaces original, and he starts going off. Bogey starts going off on Tarasenko. I don't think there was a time there where there wasn't one freaking show that we didn't mention Tarasenko, and I was defending him the first few shows, and then he just I don't know.
You're regretting that one now, aren't you, Mike?
The next Mark. Sir Mark Knight.
You really like that, Bob.
I don't know how that came out as Mark, but whatever.
The other honorable mention is it's Zach here, and I don't think I need to go into detail with that. But the award goes to By Mercy and Grace.
All right, again, there's one nomination, there's one finalist, and there's only one person who we could bestow this great honor to, and that is to former Niagara GM, former member of LG, Snake 4413. For those of you who were not around,
where the fuck have you been?
Yeah, we dedicated almost an entire episode to Snake at one point. We're gonna try to get some of the messages back.
It's now lost in our archive.
It is in our archive somewhere. We'll get it back.
I think in the first 5 episodes he was in the Doghouse.
Yeah. For playing terrible goalie.
For playing terrible goalie, for saying he didn't play goalie, and then being proven wrong by My Mercy and Grace saying, your stats say this.
Yeah.
So for his whole blacklist fiasco, or his whole freaking Colonel fiasco with the AGM of the AHL, and then for getting blacklisted
again.
Yeah. And the blacklist was like a huge thing that a lot of people know that we had a big part of, honestly, because of our show and some of the evidence that we provided, as well as some messages that were exchanged with us between commissioning staff and things like that. We don't really need to go into too much detail about it, but that's kind of what happened, and it was a big thing for about, what would you say, 2 weeks that we were dealing with it and stuff like that. So it was pretty huge, and our former showmate Original was going crazy. He wanted to make Snake show this, Snake show this, Snake show this.
Yeah, he wanted to do like weekly updates for every time Snake did something.
No. It was almost daily.
I think one of our best episodes, and I think it was the episode that really benchmarked the Doghouse as a CHL show, was our dramatic reading.
Yeah.
of Colonel just going off on Snake. It was absolutely that was absolutely
I will never forget the line, "I have crabs on my nuts that could GM better than you."
And for those who don't know, I did do an AHL radio show. Listen to that, Bogey. There was AHL media before you. I did do an AHL media show called the LG Wheelhouse with Hutch and Colonel. Which is why I was able to get the inside information I was able to get, because I had such strong ties to Colonel. So yeah, it was definitely fun. That was a fun episode.
Yeah,
to
we
do.
will definitely.
We got a lot of
feedback. I just cannot. That reading through that message, it was just like line after line, like saying that you had the Bogs on payroll, saying that, like the crabs on my.
And the Bogs gave him that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't talk about that too much, because and by the way, just if anyone questions this, I was not a staff member when all this went down. Okay, though I'm a staff member now, I have no problem talking about staff decisions that were done before I was a Bog. So, haha, technicalities.
Surprise.
Oh, so there you are, folks. That is our Doghouse Award show.
And our season.
And our season. Way to get all sad
Yeah.
about it, Quinn.
Hey.
No.
Hey. To be fair though, we've got to be one of the first media shows in not necessarily LG history, because I know like there's the AHL Insider, all that stuff, but I mean in terms of the CHL, that's going to carry over to another season. Usually they don't on it.
Yeah.
So
And
This is-
as time goes on, Greasy will start feeling better as he
Yeah.
ends his chemo regimen. So we would like to have him on the show more often. Shout out to Greasy, because we have not forgotten
Yeah.
you, sir. The French man of our panel.
Is he French?
Yeah.
Spanish.
No, he's French. That's why
pretend
that
for
one
French.
episode that Mike yelled out, "Save me, French man."
that's true. And I'd also like to, and I'm sure on behalf of on behalf of you three, thank the people that watch too, because you guys have provided us with a lot of funny stuff as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
a lot of very good forum discussions that have, I think, didn't one of our episodes get locked because of the forum discussions that were going on?
Yeah, it got locked during the Tarasenko.
I
very
think-
first one.
yeah,
Our very first
The Tarasenko.
Yeah.
No, it was the very first
The
one.
very
and it
first
wasn't-
one.
Yeah,
And it wasn't because of Tarasenko.
it was just
It
because
was
of
because of
everything.
me. It was because of me vaping.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
yeah,
the
that's
vaping
right.
thing. That's right.
Yeah. But yeah, just thank you to everybody that's watching. Hopefully, you continue to watch next season. Should we?
And
kind of know-
that honestly, that first episode is what formed the actual Doghouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as how the show is actually presented now.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Our original plan was to do like a typical talk show with the power rankings and whatnot, and people enjoyed us kind of hating on people and talking about the different sides of LG, and so that's kind of what formed it. And again, as Mike said, that's largely thankfully to you guys. So, yeah.
And you know, we might trash on him now, but an original name had a lot to do with it too. Original name had a lot to do to shape this Doghouse.
Yeah, I think the dramatic reading of the snake thing really put us on the map, and his editing
that was
really put
absolute-
that together.
And that was his idea
Yeah.
as well, the dramatic
And-
reading. So, I mean, we can do a quick rundown of the people that have been on the show, and not just as guests but as hosts. I mean, we've had, obviously myself,
Like a
Golden
special
Gate,
thanks
and
for
My
sure,
Mercy and
yeah.
Grace. But special thanks absolutely goes out to an original name, to Bogey,
Boggy.
Boggy, for doing some editing for us as well. Mitty for filling in every once in a while when Golden couldn't make it, Greasy's going through his chemo. That's actually when we ended up bringing Audacity too, because I asked Mitty first, but we weren't sure if he was going to be able to do it, so I asked Audacity and he came on, so we ended up doing all four of us. But Mitty's actually been on twice, and Greasy obviously. And he is still a panel member here, and he's absolutely welcome back whenever he's feeling up to it. And Audacity for bringing that entertainment 3 shows ago and just sticking. As soon as you came on the show, we were like, no, he needs to stay.
Yeah.
He needs to
Yeah.
stay.
As soon as we finished filming that episode, Mike
Yeah.
was messaging me like, "Yeah, we need to ask him to be on the show permanently."
And the thing was, is they posted in our group chat after I couldn't make it. They're like, "Yeah, Quinn, we're replacing you with Audacity." So I was, but I think it's been a very good season. We've had our up and downs, but I think it's been pretty good.
From myself, by Mercy and Grace, Golden Aces, Audacity, and all the people we had mentioned before, thank you for joining us for this absolutely long season, and we look forward to the comments. Thank you.
I'm so glad I'm recording this. Do I need to take off my shirt?
Hiding under the dick cap. Oh, is it that time of season? He says this is the end of the season. Tom, take off the shirt. Make that truffle shuffle.
Oh God! Bam! That's what it sounds like when I edit.
Is that why it takes so long?
Yes. I just make noises with my mouth until I get what I want.
All right, boys. what everybody's been waiting for here. Let's go.
All right.
And here, sorry.
Yeah.
Edit the. Sorry. No, Gabella did
Your
go.
mistake is staying in.
I didn't ask for it to get edited out.
You're
Did I hear
about
that?
to.
You're about to.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. I said my mistake. Hey, my mistake.
Edit it
Bell-
out.
You said it.
You said edit it out.
No, I did.
It's recorded.
We
Go ahead, go back. I didn't say edit it out.
I will definitely be going back when I edit this. And
Surprise!
Can we get on,
yeah,
or are we just gonna keep?
you're the host here, sir.
I can't control my own freaking staff. It's ridiculous.